Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN and Flying with the Foam. And now, for today, because I've already talked a lot about Alpha Strike, let me just tell you that if there's one point in confusion that I've mainly had for a while, it's the fact that AccuStrike and Alpha Strike are two level A's that can, in fact, cause a lot of confusion. But speaking of AccuStrike, if there's one blaster, yeah, this is the one right here. This is the blaster from the AccuStrike series that basically started it all. On the AccuStrike side of my collection, that is. This is the Falconfire, the smallest blaster that you could pick up at the time in 2017. That was part of the AccuStrike series, because there were, after all, quite a few blasters that were introduced throughout 2017, 2018, and 2019 that were supposedly meant to showcase the capabilities of the darts that were the AccuStrike darts. The darts, of course, that are best known for simply being, well, differently shaped on the tip. But let me just tell you firsthand, this blaster seems to have a very familiar problem that I have addressed before. If you don't remember my talk on the Modulus Ion Fire, then well, this whole top section right here basically is a large reminiscence of what has happened in the past. But yet, let me just tell you, this came out before any of those. And might I tell you that the supposed trapdoor loading process certainly was not alone as part of the Falconfire or the Ion Fire. There were a few others before then, like the Sharpfire, as well as the Sharpfire Delta, which is basically just a blue recolor of it. And might I also say that in terms of more recent years, it appears that another Star Wars-based blaster is going to be ripping off the design of the Sharpfire, but decorated to look more like the Mandalorian sidearm blaster. No joke. The Mandalorian is finally getting its own share of the Star Wars Nerf crossover feed, and the thing is, I'd say the timing is perfect at this point. So, of course, the trapdoor thing is certainly something that I could just say, it's terrible, beyond all means. But let me just say, this right here is not bottom of the barrel in comparison to some other loading processes and other complicated measures and faulty breakdowns that I have possibly noticed. Some really messed up moments here in Nerf's history. I've already addressed the majority of them though. The Mega Megalodon was certainly one of the worst that I might have ever handled. It was also one of the worst Mega Blasters that I might have ever had the irony of collecting. The Falconfire, however, though, is certainly one bad blaster from the AccuStrike series. A series that is meant to be very accurate because of the different darts. The new darts that they constructed years ago were supposed to allow for more accuracy and more speed and more hang time in flight. Well, I mean, I sure hope that Hasbro does not quit their day job anytime, sooner or later. As a matter of fact, they should keep their day jobs until the day they die. Because the thing is, the Falconfire certainly ain't bottom of the barrel when it comes to the majority of blasters out there. I'd say, for the price tag especially, and also for easy usage, you can probably get your money's worth out of this thing. But the thing is, the trapdoor loading this particular process of the trapdoor usage is quite a tedious one, and it certainly has a lot of delays put behind it. You could probably have trouble with trying to load the dart into the chamber because of the fact that it doesn't really come out all the way, so that's another main flaw that I might as well just disclose. Of course, you can always flick your wrist like that and it can easily shut like that. I mean, that's a pretty nifty trick, but other nifty tricks don't really seem very possible. And might I also tell you that this blaster in particular, my Falconfire, actually had to have some outside mods put into it. Look at that hole. Yeah. I actually had to drill a hole through that part of the blaster, and you can probably hear little pieces of plastic just rattling in there, but I couldn't really hang it on the wall with various other methods of slinging it on because there aren't many parts to where you could sling it other than here, which is the same spot as where the dart storage is. As a matter of fact, if you were to try to hang it like this, then you probably wouldn't be able to have 3 darts put together. So that would probably only limit it to 2 or just 1, depending on the kind of peg that you use for, well, holding it up like this. Of course, you could also try the trigger, because I've had to do that before with several of my blasters. However, I did not really want to do that, so I went ahead and just drilled a hole straight through this part of the grip right here. And honestly, I'd say the result is actually pretty good by any means, but once again, though the Falconfire, for being one of the first blasters to be released for the AccuStrike series in summer 2017, I really don't know exactly whether or not it actually is worth it. It's kind of an SOL for me, a high-class SOL that's going to need a lot of attention and a lot of care put together, because I just certainly don't know what to do with it anymore. The Falconfire may not be at the very bottom of the barrel, unlike some other blasters out there, but I certainly will not say that it is a good or a great blaster in any way. It probably does okay by any means, but the trapdoor loading process, plus the near lack of sling points, which don't really make hanging up on the wall any easier or putting it anywhere on the wall any easier, combined with the fact that, well, it can only hold 3 darts. I mean, that's a common thing that happens with most single-shot blasters, like the EX series of blasters or some Jolt-based reskins out there. But I can't really say for sure that it's as low as it could possibly go. So, bottom line, Falconfire is still a bit of an SOL while still being pretty bad in most ways possible. For an AccuStrike blaster, that sure is quite an award. But, that's pretty much all I got to talk about on the Falconfire as a whole. But you can expect me to talk about a lot more very soon. If you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.